How's it going, everyone? Welcome to part 3 of 3 of Game 1 from the final of the men's 2021 CIB Black Ball Open between Marwan Shorbagy and Faris Dessouky. So this video shows the last part of the game, the concluding end of the game from 7-7. Now, if you recall from the previous couple of videos, we talked about certain phases. So we talked about the settling phase at the beginning of each game, especially at the beginning of the match. Then we talked about the mid phase, and now this is the crucial end game. Now, in the end game, the mental side of things is the most important. And this is what differentiates a lot of the top world-class players from the guys and the girls that are just below them. So you'll find that even players may be really close up until 7-7, 8-8, 9-9, but then there's one player, the higher ranked player, that usually is able to come out on top the vast majority of the time. And this is because of their mindset. This is because of all of the experience that they have. They don't succumb to the pressure as much. They stay focused and present more often. They think about the process and doing what they need to do, and they don't try to think about having to win the game necessarily and distract themselves in different ways. They don't start ruminating about objectives and outcomes as much. Now, you can train that. One super simple way of training that is through mindfulness. If you want to learn more about mindfulness, let me know. I'm actually probably creating a little mini course on it. But over here, let's think about and talk about what you're going to see. So number one, you're going to see that now from 7-7 onwards, Faris starts making more errors. You're going to see that Faris is almost rushing things. He's looking a little bit edgy, and you're going to see him kind of stab at the ball. You're going to see him trying to do too much from positions where he shouldn't really be doing too much because he feels like he's running out of options because Marwan has a lot of momentum. You're going to see that Marwan's movement starts getting better into the front. Now he's settled in, his body's warmed up. He probably didn't have an adequate warm-up, and the previous night's match and the matches before that probably took a toll on his body and are now starting to work themselves out of his body, and he's getting into it both mentally and physically. You're going to see that Marwan is also controlling the tee a lot better, more than Faris is controlling the tee. And because of that, Marwan's able to attack, put Faris under pressure. Faris's length isn't as accurate now as it was in the previous games, so that's also allowing Marwan to stay in front. And it's just this loopy process. When the length is in there, your opponent gets in front of you. When your opponent gets in front of you, you're doing more work. Your opponent becomes more confident, and you end up getting a little bit edgy because you're trying to figure out what you can do, and you try to be extra creative and force things that aren't really there. And then that's when you either get the strokes against yourself, or you open up the court with the wrong shot, or you make the error, and that's where the momentum just shifts, goes again in favor of your opponent, goes against you. So let's watch the game, and I'm going to make a few comments as we go through the video here. So there's Faris's length is a bit short, Marwan's is a bit deeper. Faris has got a bit deeper that time, Marwan's is short. Now let's see who's staying on the volley a little bit more. It's good defending when you're under a bit of pressure, but it was a little bit loose on the defense. This is actually a pretty even rally so far. Both players are controlling each other here and there. And both are being forced to defend. There's one little stab from Faris. So you see Marwan volleyed, which was good. And Faris saw that volley. But you can see kind of from the way he reacted with his body that he was really willing and wishing that ball went in. But he knew from as soon as he hit it, he knew that wasn't really the right shot because he was slightly off balance, a little bit, not quite set on that ball. Now he's trying to gather himself and reset. Short length. Deep length, short length, good attempt at slowing it down. So you see these boasts in the first part of the game were winners against Marwan. Now Marwan's ready and he's catching all of them. And that's also probably in Faris's head because he was winning points. Now he's not winning points off of those shots. Nice defense. Nice change of pace. See another ball. So a few things over there. Let's talk about a couple of things now. So number one, both players are jockeying for position throughout this rally, but you'll notice Marwan is generally, especially in the latter part of the rally, he's the one who's attacking and dictating the pace more. The other thing is, when you think about the score, it's 7-8. This is critical. If Faris can get the point, 8-8 is very different from being 9-7 down. So critical point for both players from a psychological standpoint. So you see Marwan is doing the attacking, Faris is doing the defending. That was a nice little hold. He changed it up, kind of threw Faris into more of a defensive position. Marwan continues to attack, kind of rolls reverse. I don't know, he tried to do too much over there. Marwan could have taken a stroke, but it's nice that he actually played through that. And then from here, what I wanted to see was that interesting piece. I'm just forwarding it a little bit. So, oh yeah, so this reminded me of the change of pace. How often do you see players coming in volley cross-court lobbing a ball? Changing pace is so important when it comes to squash, because if you remember, we talked about patterns. If you tend to play, you can think about patterns as playing particular shots over and over. So every time someone hits a boast into the front right corner and you're right-handed, you go in and you just crush a cross-court. That's a pattern that's probably ingrained in your system. And the more people you play, or the higher level people you play, they'll realize that you do that and they'll start cheating over to the left side. Every time they boast, they're going to cheat and they're going to try to volley your shot. Another way to think about patterns is through pace. So a lot of people play one pace, everything's hard. Or someone only plays drops and lobs and drops and lobs. That's a pattern. So now you see Faris, actually most people, when they get these volleys up high over here, they're not thinking about lobbing the ball, but it throws the other person's flow and rhythm off when you change pace like that. So that was one thing I wanted to point out quickly. And then that's a nice boast. And you see here, watch Faris's movement in a second. So he's reaching, and which is good. He's taking the ball early to take time away from Marwan, but then he's moving back before he's even hit the shot. So he's actually focused on probably taking a bit of space and blocking Marwan out after hitting that shot, but he was more focused on this part, the movement, relative to actually executing that shot, and that's probably what resulted in the tin. Again, my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's what I think happened. I think there's one more interesting piece here. Right there. His eyes are locked on Faris to see what's happening, because now Faris has hit 2 tins in a row. Marwan has this lead of 9-7. He's probably thinking in his head, all right, I'm up 2. It's getting close to the end of the game. He's probably thinking that I have the momentum, and this guy just hit 2 errors on arguably loose balls, which give Marwan the signal that Faris is a little bit shaky and a little bit edgy. Now Marwan gathers himself. Faris is taking his time. And you see now Marwan, he's not trying to rush it anymore at this point in time anyways. He's up 9-7. Faris is a little bit shaky. Ooh, oh, there's another one. So let's look at this one again really quickly. Faris's position, and you'll see this here. From this position, Faris is back here. Marwan has not hit a boast from this position yet. He's been defending everything straight thus far. And Faris is a little bit deep. He's cheating to the left, expecting Marwan to do something down the left-hand side wall. And then Marwan changes the pattern and hits the boast. And what does Faris do? He's stuck, and he's a little bit late on the ball. Now, I don't know about you. Do you consider this an attacking or a defensive position, or a neutral position? Let me qualify that comment. At the highest level, what might be a defensive position for you can actually be an attacking position for them. But relative to these guys, yeah, they can do something from that position, but the safer option might be to try and maybe lob the ball. Give yourself time, because you were wrong-footed. You're strong enough to get there. But from here, what Faris tries to do is to hit a little flick push down the wall. And he's under pressure, he's stretched out. The ball goes right past his shoulder. Marwan's ready to get it, and it's a stroke. Why do you think Faris tried to do that? He's hit 2 tins in a row. This was the third rally where he now lost a point because of the stroke against him. He looked edgy in the last couple of rallies, and now he tries to do something overly fancy to win the point instead of resetting and finding his foundation again and getting his confidence back. And now, Marwan's just looking at his folks in the crowd, and he's full of confidence at this point. He's up 10-7, and he wants to close this out. See, he just wants to get into it. Faris is taking his time, and Marwan just wants to get into it. And there it is. Full of confidence. Takes that full swing through the ball on the cross court, and he hit his target behind the back of the service box in the nick. We can check that out again for a second. Let's see where he actually caught that ball. Right there. Perfect target. Right at the back of the service box in the nick. Ball literally almost rolls out from there. And that's it. That's the game. So there you have it, folks. You saw how everything shifted. It was back and forth, and they were neck and neck at 7-7 near the end of the mid stage of the game. And now in this latter part of the game, the tail end of the game, the momentum suddenly shifted. The mental strength suddenly appeared. There could be many other reasons. I mean, I haven't shown you guys or watched in detail games 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it goes to. But you can see from this that Faris essentially hit 2 tin, 1 stroke by trying to do too much, and then Marwan hit the nick. So that's, to me, speaks about mental strength, focus, and just confidence, building that confidence. Now, I hope you found value in that. I hope you can take a bunch away from it. If you want to work on that mental strength and that mindset, truthfully, I have something I created called a Life Strong Training Program. You can check it out on my website at www.arproformance.com/life-strong. Check it out. And one little tip you guys can start even without the program, without anything else, is practicing mindfulness. If you want to know more about mindfulness, let me know. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel. I will be very appreciative, and hopefully we can share this content and value with a lot of other people. Have a good one, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.